Davis-Monthan Air Force Base is a United States Air Force base located within the city limits approximately 5 miles south-southeast of downtown Tucson, Arizona. It was established in 1925 as Davis-Monthan Landing Field. The host unit headquartered at Davis-Monthan is the 355th Fighter Wing assigned to 12th Air Force, part of Air Combat Command. The base is best known as the location of the Air Force Materiel Command's 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group, the aircraft boneyard for all excess military and government aircraft. Overview: Davis-Monthan Air Force Base is a key ACC installation. The 355th Fighter Wing is the host unit, providing medical, logistical, mission and operational support to all assigned units. This wing's combat mission is providing a 10th Thunderbolt II close air support and OA-10 forward air controllers to ground forces worldwide. The 355 FW provides initial and recurrent training to all U.S. Air Force A-10, OA-10 and EC-130 pilots and crews. The 355th is also the ACC's executive agent for INF and START treaty compliance. One of the wing's tenant units, the 55th Electronic Combat Group, is tasked to provide command, control and communications countermeasures in support of tactical forces with its EC-130H aircraft, and employing the EC-130E aircraft, provide airborne command, control and communications capabilities for managing tactical air operations in war and other contingencies worldwide. Two other major tenants, the 563rd Rescue Group and 943rd Rescue Group, are tasked to provide combat search and rescue support worldwide. As the location of the Air Force Materiel Command's 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group, Davis-Monthan Air Force Base is the sole aircraft boneyard for excess military and government aircraft. Tucson's dry climate and alkali soil made it an ideal location for aircraft storage and preservation. Wing units. The host wing at Davis-Monthan is the 355th Fighter Wing, which includes 355th Operations Group, consists of 6 squadrons and over 450 personnel employing A-10 aircraft and an anti-PS-75 radar system. It provides warfighters with forces for close air support, air interdiction, forward air control, combat search and rescue, ground-based tactical air control, and airbase operations. It also conducts all formal course-directed aircraft initial qualification, requalification training. All active-duty aircraft assigned to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base carry the tail code DM. 354th Fighter Squadron Bulldogs, Blue Tail Flash. 357th Fighter Squadron Dragons, Yellow Tail Flash. 358th Fighter Squadron Lobos, Black Tail Flash. 355th Operations Support Squadron, 355th Training Squadron, 607th Air Control Squadron West Coast A-10 Demonstration Team, consists of 12 members and is assigned to the 355th Operations Group. The team's primary mission is to encourage retention and recruitment by showcasing the A-10 Thunderbolt II, performing at more than 30 air shows annually before 15 million spectators nationwide. The A-10 demo team provides insight about Air Combat Command and the United States Air Force 355th Mission Support Group. consists of about 2,000 military and civilian personnel in 6 diverse squadrons that train, equip and provide agile combat mission support, including civil engineering, communications, contracting, transportation, fuels, supply, deployment readiness, personnel, security forces, and services for immediate worldwide deployment of combat support elements. The group also provides an effective in-garrison support infrastructure and quality-of-life services for 26 wing and 32 associate units spanning a 60,000-person, 10,763 acres community, one of the largest in Air Combat Command. 355th Maintenance Group supports 8 flying squadrons comprising 82 A-10, 14 EC-130, 8 HH-60, and 6 HC-130 combat-ready aircraft with over 1,700 assigned personnel. It ensures quality of on- and off-equipment aircraft maintenance and executes an annual O&M budget of $1.5 million. 355th Medical Group. Tenants. Headquarters, 12th Air Force 612th Air Operations Group 612th Air Communications Squadron, 612th Air Intelligence Squadron 612th Air and Space Operations Center operates AFSOUTH's Combined Air and Space Operations Center. 563d Rescue Group, a geographically separated unit of the 23d Wing at Moody Air Force Base, Georgia. 48th Rescue Squadron, 55th Rescue Squadron, 79th Rescue Squadron, 563rd Operations Support Squadron, 55th Electronic Combat Group, a geographically separated unit of the 55th Wing at Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska. 41st Electronic Combat Squadron, Scorpions Blue Tailstripe. 42d Electronic Combat Squadron, Raptors Yellow Tailstripe. 43d Electronic Combat Squadron, Bats Red Tailstripe. 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group. This group is responsible for the base's aircraft graveyard, the largest in terms of number of planes in the world, where old military and other aircraft are stationed either to be stored indefinitely, pulp, stripped or restored for service. 943rd Rescue Group, Air Force Reserve Command Unit assigned to Davis-Monthan that falls under the 920th Rescue Wing at Patrick EFB, Florida. 305th Rescue Squadron, 306th Rescue Squadron, 943rd Operations Support Flight, 214th Reconnaissance Group, Arizona Air National Guard Unit flying the MQ-1 Predator. The base provides additional active duty support to the 162d Fighter Wing of the Arizona Air National Guard, located at nearby Tucson International Airport, which flies the F-160 and F-160 Fighting Falcon. Other military activities and federal agencies using the base include Navy Operational Support Center Tucson, a detachment of the Naval Air Systems Command, the Federal Aviation Administration, the U.S. Customs Service Air Service Branch, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. Also located on base is the 25th Operational Weather Squadron 25 OWS. The squadron produces forecasts for the western United States and is part of the 1st Weather Group headquartered at Offutt Air Force Base, NEB. The squadron also serves as a training hub for new weather professionals, both enlisted and officers. History. The base was named in honor of World War I pilots Lieutenants Samuel H. Davis and Oscar Monthan, both Tucson natives. Davis, who attended the University of Arizona prior to enlisting in the Army in 1917, died in a Florida aircraft accident in 1921. Monthan enlisted in the Army as a private in 1917, was commissioned as a ground officer in 1918, and later became a pilot. He was killed in the crash of a Martin bomber in Hawaii in 1924. Origins. In 1919, the Tucson Chamber of Commerce Aviation Committee established the nation's first municipally owned airfield at the current site of the Tucson Rodeo grounds. The rapid increase in aviation activities meant a move in 1927 to the site, which is now Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, after the city of Tucson acquired land southeast of town for a runway in 1925. Charles Lindbergh, fresh from his non-stop crossing of the Atlantic Ocean, flew his Spirit of St. Louis to Tucson in 1927 to dedicate Davis-Monthan Field, then the largest municipal airport in the United States. Military presence at the field began when Sergeant Simpson relocated his fuel and service operation to the site on 6 October 1927. He kept the log, containing names of the field's customers, including Lindbergh, Amelia Earhart, Benjamin Falwell, and Jimmy Doolittle. Doolittle, awarded the Medal of Honor for his 1942 Tokyo raid, was the first military customer at the field on 9 October 1927. The combination of civil and military operations worked well until the early 1940s, when military requirements began to require the relocation of civil aviation activities. World War II. Davis-Monthan Airport became Tucson Army Airfield in 1940, as the United States prepared for World War II. The first assigned U.S. Army Air Corps units were the 1st Bomb Wing, 41st Bomb Group and 31st Air Base Group, activating on 30 April 1941, with Lieutenant Colonel Ames S. Albra Sr. as commanding officer. In its military role, the base became known as Davis-Monthan Army Airfield on 3 December 1941. Air Corps leaders utilized the airfield, sending Douglas B-18 Bolo, consolidated B-24 Liberator and Boeing B-29 Superfortress bombers, for training and observation missions. Among the bombardment groups trained at the base during the war, training at the airfield came to a halt on 14 August 1945, when the Japanese surrendered. Davis-Monthan played a post-war role by housing German PAs from June 1945 to March 1946. It also served as a separation center, which brought the base populace to a high of 11,614 people in September 1945. Post-war years. With the end of the war, operations at the base came to a virtual standstill. It was then the base was selected as a storage site for hundreds of decommissioned aircraft, with the activation of the 4,105th Army Air Force Unit. The 4,105th oversaw the storage of excess B-29s and C-47 Goonie birds. Tucson's low humidity and alkali soil made it an ideal location for aircraft storage and preservation, awaiting cannibalization or possible reuse, a mission that has continued to this day. Cold War. The Cold War era was ushered in at Davis-Monthan in March 1946, in the form of the 40th and 444th Bombardment Groups, both equipped with B-29s. As part of the post-war austerity, these groups were activated, with the personnel and equipment being consolidated into the 43D Bombardment Group in October. On the 11th of January 1948, with the establishment of the United States Air Force, the facility was renamed Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. On the 30th of June 1948, the Air Force activated the 43rd Air Refueling Squadron, whose kb-29 megaseconds were newly equipped with aerial refueling equipment purchased from the British firm FRL. The 43rd ARS, along with the 509th ARS at Walker AFB, New Mexico, was the first dedicated air refueling unit in history. On the 2nd of March 1949, the Lucky Lady II, a B-50A of the 43D bombardment wing, completed the first non-stop round-the-world flight, having covered 23,452 miles in 94 hours and 1 minute. Lucky Lady II was refueled 4 times in the air by kb-29 tankers of the 43D Air Refueling Squadron, which had made only one operational air refueling contact before the mission. For this outstanding flight, the Lucky Lady II's crew received the Mackay Trophy, given annually by the National Aeronautic Association for the Outstanding Flight of the Year, and the Air Age Trophy, an Air Force Association award, given each year in recognition of significant contributions to the public understanding of the air age. In 1953, the jet age came to Davis-Monthan when SAC units on the base converted to the new Boeing B-47 Stratojet. The 303D bombardment wing, medium, was initially established on the 27th of August 1951, and activated at Davis-Monthan AFB on the 4th of September 1951. The wing operated B-29s until January 1952, when it was equipped with kb-29s. On the 20th of January 1953, the 303D transitioned to the Boeing B-47 Stratojet for its 3 bomb squadrons, while an additional air refueling squadron equipped with KC-97s was assigned to the wing between the 18th of February 1953 and the 1st of February 1956. A standard SAC alert area ramp was constructed in the southeast corner of the base adjacent to the runway, and the 303D assumed nuclear alert responsibilities. Final conversion and checkout in the B-47 was complete. In April 1953, the Air Defense Command's 15th Fighter Interceptor Squadron was activated with F-86A Sabres. A year later, the unit transitioned into F-86Ds, followed by a transition to F-86Ls in the fall of 1957. In the spring of 1959, the unit received Northrop F-89J interceptors, which it flew for only a year when it transitioned into McDonnell F-101Bs. On the 24th of December 1964, the 15th FIS was inactivated. In 1962, the Strategic Air Command's 390th Strategic Missile Wing and its 18 Titan II ICBM sites around Tucson were activated. The 390 SMW was one of only 3 Titan II missile wings in SAC and represented the heaviest land-based missile and the largest single warhead ever fielded by U.S. strategic deterrent forces. In July 1963, the 4028th Strategic Reconnaissance Weather Wing, equipped with U-2 strategic reconnaissance aircraft, began flying global missions from Davis-Monthan. Following the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1963, the 4080th Strategic Reconnaissance Wing at Locklin AFB, Texas, relocated to the base and assumed responsibility for all U-2 operations, emphasizing long-range strategic reconnaissance and intelligence collection. As a Strategic Air Command unit, the 4080th was later redesignated the 100th Strategic Reconnaissance Wing and also acquired Lockheed DC-130 Hercules aircraft for launch and control of Fire-B reconnaissance drones that were the precursors of contemporary unmanned aerial systems. The DC-130 DC-130s and U-2s remained at the Davis-Monthan until 1976, when the 100 SRW was inactivated. Its DC-130s transferred to Tactical Air Command's 432d Tactical Drone Group, and its U-2s transferred to SAC's 9th Strategic Reconnaissance Wing at Beale Air Force Base, California, where U-2 Dragon Lady operations were consolidated with State Route 71 Blackbird operations. On the 15th of June 1964, Davis-Monthan's 303d Bombardment Wing was inactivated as part of the retirement of the B-47 Stratojet from active service. The year 1964 brought back the combat crew training mission of the World War II years with the 4453d Combat Crew Training Wing equipped with the Air Force's newest and most sophisticated fighter, the McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II. In July 1971, the 355th Tactical Fighter Wing, flying the A-7 Corsair II aircraft, was activated at the base, and the previously assigned F-4s were moved to Luke AFB, near Phoenix, Arizona. On the 1st of October 1976, the base was transferred to Tactical Air Command after 30 years under SAC. It was also that year the 355th Tactical Fighter Wing accepted the first A-10 Thunderbolt II. Since 1979, DM has been the training location for pilots in the A-10. The base was redesignated the 355th Tactical Training Wing on the 1st of September 1979. The organization was later redesignated the 355th Fighter Wing since it includes operational, deployable A-10 squadrons in addition to its CONUS training mission. The 1980s brought several diverse missions to DM. The headquarters charged with overseeing them was now the 836th Air Division, which was activated the 1st of January 1981. The AD advised Air Force component commanders and land forces on A-10 aircraft tactics, training, employment and readiness, and subordinate units participated in exercises such as Red Flag and Celtic Echo. The 41st Electronic Combat Squadron, equipped with the EC-130H Compass Call aircraft, arrived on the 1st of July 1980, and reported to the 552d Airborne Warning and Control Wing. In 1981, DM welcomed the 868th Tactical Missile Training Group. The 868th was the only U.S.-based ground-launched cruise missile unit and the source of the crews that staffed the forward-deployed GLCM wings in NATO in 1982. On the 1st of September 1982, the headquarters of the 602d Tactical Air Control Wing and its subordinate 23rd Tactical Air Support Squadron, a unit responsible for the Air Force's tactical air control system west of the Mississippi River, transferred from Bergstrom Air Force Base, Texas, and stood up at DM, bringing 16 OA-37B aircraft and numerous new personnel to the base. The 23rd TAS became the Air Force's first OA-10 squadron in 1988, providing heavily armed airborne forward air control capability for the first time. Unlike all other DM aircraft at the time, the 23rd TAS fleet's Nail Flash Read NF-4 Nail FAC, the squadron's radio call sign was Nail. In 1984, as a result of the first series of strategic arms reduction treaties START-I between the United States and the Soviet Union, SAC began to decommission its Titan II missile system. In 1982, the 390 SMW began removing its 18 missiles and inactivating the associated sites in preparation for eventual demolition. In October 1981, President Ronald Reagan announced that, as part of the Strategic Modernization Program, Titan II systems were to be retired by the 1st of October October 1987. Deactivation began at Davis-Monthan on 1 October 1982. During the operation, titled Rivet Cap, the missiles were removed and shipped to Norton AFB, California for refurbishment and storage. Explosive demolition began at the headworks of Missile Complex 570-7 on 30 November 1983. In May 1984, the 390 SMW's last Titan II at Davis-Monthan came off alert status. SAC subsequently activated the 390th Strategic Missile Wing on 30 June 1984. One site under the 390 SMW, known both as Titan II Site 571-7 and as Air Force Facility Missile Site 8, was initially decommissioned in 1982. Located approximately 12 miles south of Tucson in Sahuarita, Arizona, it was saved from demolition and turned over to the Arizona Aerospace Foundation, a non-profit organization which also administers the Pima Air and Space Museum immediately south of Davis-Monthan, with a variety of items on loan from the National Museum of the United States Air Force, including an inert Titan II missile. Site 571-7 is now known as the Titan Missile Museum and is one of two remaining examples of a Titan II missile site in existence. In 1994, the site was declared a National Historic Landmark. Post-Cold War era. In the 1990s, the 355 TTW continued to train A-10 crews for assignments to units in the United States, England, and Korea. During this period, the 602nd Tactical Air Control Wing deployed airborne forward air controllers in their OA-10 aircraft to Operation Desert Storm, providing nearly 100% of this capability to the war. On 1 October 1991, the 355 TTW was redesignated as the 355th Fighter Wing in tune with the Air Force's objective wing philosophy. The 355th Fighter Wing was composed of the 355th Operations Group, the 355th Maintenance Group, the 355th Medical Group, and the 355th Mission Support Group. In May 1992, the 41st and 43D Electronic Combat Squadrons, flying EC-130E Hercules Compass Call arrived. The aircraft carried an airborne battlefield command and control center capsule that provides continuous control of tactical air operations in the forward battle area and behind enemy lines. This capability added yet more strength to the wing's combat capability. The 43rd Electronic Combat Squadron (BATS) are part of the 55th Wing at Offutt AFB, Nebraska, but operate out of Davis-Monthan. In addition, the 42d Airborne Command and Control Squadron arrived from Keesler AFB, Mississippi on 19 July 1994. On 1 May 1992, senior Air Force leaders implemented the policy of one base, one wing, one boss. The 836AD and 602T AIRCW and activated, while the 41 ECS and 43 ECS came under control of the 355 FW. With the mission diversified, the 355th Fighter Wing was redesignated as the 355th Wing. Following Operation Desert Storm, the 355WG supported Operation Southern Watch during deployments to Al Jaber, Kuwait, in 1997 by deploying 24 A-10s, in 1998 by deploying 16 A-10s, and in 1999 by deploying 14 A-10s, all to ensure compliance of the 33rd Parallel Southern No-Fly Zone. The flight and mysterious crash of Captain Craig D. Button took off from Davis-Monthan Air Force Base on the 12th of April 1997. The attacks on the 11th of September 2001 led to the initiation of 3 ongoing missions: Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation Noble Eagle. After Operation Enduring Freedom, 8 A-10s from the 355WG were called to Bagram Air Base, Afghanistan, to fly close air support missions supporting multinational ground forces. In September 2002, the 48th, 55th, and the 79th Rescue Squadrons transferred under control of the 355WG, equipped with HC-130 aircraft and HH-60 helicopters. At the same time, the 41st and 43d Electronic Combat Squadrons were realigned under the control of the 55th Electronic Combat Group, while personnel and aircraft remained on Davis-Monthan AFB. Operational control of the 55 ECG was assumed by the 55th Wing at Offutt AFB, Nebraska. Another major wing realignment occurred on the 1st of October 2003, with the activation of the 563rd Rescue Group on Davis-Monthan AFB. Control of the 48th, 55th, and 79th Rescue Squadrons was passed to the new group, with the 23rd Wing at Moody Air Force Base, Georgia, assuming operational command of the unit. In 2003 and 2005, the 354th Fighter Squadron Bulldogs deployed on 5-month deployments to Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. During these deployments, they provided 24-hour presence to reassure the Afghan population as it struggled with its emergent democracy, and provided key support during national elections. While the 2003 deployments saw limited action, the Bulldogs employed over 22,000 rounds of 30mm during 130 troops in contact situations during the 2005 deployment, returning to Afghanistan in April 2007 for another 6-month deployment. The 345th again provided 24-hour presence and close air support expertise to coalition forces in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. During this period, insurgent activity level was the highest recorded to date in OEF. The Bulldogs employed an unprecedented number of munitions during this deployment, over 150,000 rounds of 30mm in support of over 400 troops in contact situations. 2007 present. On the 26th of April 2007, the 355th Wing was redesignated as the 355th Fighter Wing with only 8 fighter aircraft assigned. Also in 2007, the 214th Reconnaissance Group, an Arizona Air National Guard unit, was activated. Today, the 355 FW was composed of 4 groups: the 355th Operations Group, the 355th Maintenance Group, the 355th Mission Support Group, and the 355th Medical Group. Along with the tenant organizations, they make up the 6,000 airmen and 1,700 civilian personnel at Davis-Monthan AFB. On Friday, the 16th of September 2011, the base was placed on lockdown, a military spokesperson later said. The base was on alert because an armed individual walked onto and was holed up in a building on the base. An ambulance had been called, but that was coincidental, a case of bad timing, as it was meant for a woman that had gone into labor. The military spokesperson stated that no shots had been fired. The situation was peacefully resolved. A worker at a Tucson scrapyard was killed the 23rd of September 2015 in an explosion when he cut into a metal object that turned out to be military ordnance. Previous names established as Davis-Monthan Landing Field, the 1st of November 1925. Tucson Municipal Airport, the 6th of October 1927. Davis-Monthan Field, the 3rd of December 1941. Davis-Monthan AFB, the 13th of January 1948 present. Major commands to which assigned 4th Air Force, the 1st of February 1942 to 8 February 1943. 2nd Air Force, the 8th of February 1943 to 16 November 1945. Air Technical Service Command, the 16th of November 1945 to 31 March 1946. Strategic Air Command, the 31st of March 1946 to 1 October 1976. Tactical Air Command, the 1st of October 1976 to 1 June 1992. Air Combat Command, the 1st of June 1992 present.